Press, distinguished members of the Nakuru Chapter Law Society of Kenya, Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen. We converge here today as members of a profession whose profound contribution to our country faces an imminent threat of being vanquished. We have seen goons being sent against a peaceful protest that was being done, teargased as they walked peacefully to present their petition. We converge as citizens whose government has chosen a rogue path of betraying the very constitution we worked so hard to put in place for ourselves. We converge here as a people of the face of the great adversity, but whose sole guarantee is to ensure protection of our people, the judiciary, which through and through continues to appear compromised to the transgressors and obligators of the constitutional sanctity. We have only one thing to say: heshimu sheria, heshimu mahakama. As a society, we have warned the executive from time to time to desist from these reckless, distasteful comments against the judiciary and also threats to disobey court orders. Today we see it trickling down to the counties. We see the governor betraying the very constitution that brought her to office. As we are here today, the county government of Nakuru has ignored, declined, and refused to comply with court orders against it in a matter between itself and the War Memorial Hospital. This act of impunity and contempt of court is compounded by the outright refusal of the National Police Service to ensure compliance and enforcement of the court orders. This comes against the backdrop of two judges of the Environmental and Land Court abandoning their sworn constitutional duty and recusing themselves from sitting to hear this matter. Yes. We can see already there is fear and intimidation at the judiciary. Yes. As advocates of the High Court of Kenya and custodians of the right and responsibility to protect and uphold the Constitution, we wish to state that we will not settle for any disillusionment, and with these unfortunate happenings, we will take action. The three key pillars involved in this debacle, we wish to quote the president as he appears the only voice they listen to. Mambo ni matatu. Jambo la kwanza, to the county government of Nakuru. Article 2 of the Constitution requires that all state organs at both levels of the government to exercise authority in accordance with the Constitution, including the national values and principles of governance under Article 10. The blatant disregard of the court orders is the most foul circumvention of the rule of law. We demand that the county government calls itself to order, acts in accordance to the orders that have been issued by the court, and forthwith obey those court orders. To the governor and her government, we say to you, heshimu sheria, heshimu mahakama. Jambo la pili, to the National Police Service, through the Nakuru County Police Commander, the police is a distinct and separate entity from the executive. The historic abuse of the police as an extension of the executive and the de facto enforcer to the executive wishes are long behind Kenya. We lived through that mongrel of an institution. We preserved it for generations and ultimately we got rid of it. The police's singular duty is to serve every member of the public, and that starts with facilitating the enforcement of court orders to the county police commander and his officers. We say, hakikisha heshima ya sheria, hakikisha heshima ya mahakama. Jambo la tatu na la mwisho, to the judiciary. Yes. The role of the judiciary is one that cannot be performed half-heartedly. Yes. When you took oath of office, you promised to protect the Constitution, you promised to protect the people of Kenya. It requires courage, it requires dedication, it requires sacrifice. The people of Kenya do not deserve a judiciary that cowers or submits to the whims of the judiciary. We got fed up of that reality over 2 decades ago. Be firm, be steadfast, be consistent, be accountable, have integrity, and we the people of Kenya, we the Law Society of Kenya will stand by you, we will fight for you, and as I end, to the judiciary and all judicial officers we say, Wajibikeni kama mahakama ili sheria iheshimike. Thank you. Faith of the humble.
To Nakuru County government, we must say that you must obey a court order. And it's not optional. It is not a plea, it is a demand. And once again, Your Excellency, you'll be on history when it's written that watu wanakufa kwa dialysis machine simply because it's disconnected. If you really mean what you mean when people are electing you, obey the court order, wacha hospitali iendelee na kila kitu iendelee. Thank you very much.
The government is engaging. They hired goons to disrupt us. They hired goons to stop us from advocating for what we as advocates ordinarily need to advocate for, the rule of law. Our intention was not to engage in any political affairs. Our intention was just to indicate that the judiciary should be respected, their orders should be respected, and the independence of the judiciary should be affirmed as an equal and equitable partner to the government. And it is in these regards that this petition must be heeded to and must be heeded to immediately. In fact, what we are also saying is that the advocates representing the county government should equally be held accountable for misadvising or for not taking action against a county government which is keen to disrupt the law. Thank you.
And my colleagues who are members of the Law Society of Kenya, we are here at the Nakuru County headquarters. We are here to exercise our constitutional right to present our petition. But before I present it, I want members of the public to know the petition that the Law Society is presenting to the Nakuru County government. So it's a short petition, so allow me to read it. The Law Society of Kenya, being a body corporate established under Section 3 of the Law Society of Kenya Act, has a mandate that includes to assist the government and the courts in matters relating to legislation, administration of justice, and the practice of law in Kenya. We also have a mandate to uphold the Constitution of Kenya and advance the rule of law and the administration of justice. Now, in executing this mandate, the Law Society of Kenya has keenly been following the case pitting the War Memorial Hospital against the county government of Nakuru. This is Nakuru ELC number 36 of 2023. Now, this case has come in court on several occasions, and indeed, the court has given express orders requiring the county government to allow the hospital to continue with its operations pending the hearing and determination of that case. It is extremely unfortunate that the county government has blatantly refused to obey these orders. Instead, the county government has overseen a violent and forceful takeover of the hospital. In the process, it has crippled its operations, violating the rights of the patients. County enforcement officers were seen disabling a dialysis machine when it was in active use by a patient. Doctors and nurses were violently chased out of the hospital even when they were attending to patients in critical conditions. Some patients were unfortunately abandoned in the intensive care unit where they needed constant medical attention. We do not need to restate that lives were lost as a result of this disobedience of court orders and actions of the county enforcement officers. The Law Society of Kenya takes great exception to this kind of impunity, and this being overseen by the government of our own governor. It pains us to say that when Susan Kihika was elected into office, we knew that she will champion the rule of law, constitutionalism, and she will be a fighter for constitutional freedoms. This was because we associated with Susan as a colleague, knowing that she is a trained and a qualified lawyer.
Yes.
As a colleague in the profession, we are extremely disappointed that she is overseeing a regime that is trampling against constitutionalism and respect for the rule of law. Now, we want to address our Madam Governor. We want to remind her that when she took the oath of office, the words that she swore with her own mouth were that she will do justice to all in accordance to the Constitution and in accordance with the laws of Kenya, without fear, without favor, without affection, and without ill will. Our question to you, Madam Governor, is, are you doing justice when your government refuses to obey court orders? Are you doing justice when your county askaris are pulling people from life support machines? Are you doing justice when your people cannot access medical and health facilities at the hospital because of this current shutdown? Madam Governor, You are the CEO of Nakuru County Government. The abuse of the rule of law will be charged directly upon you. When history is written, the people of Nakuru will remember that you are in charge when children were abandoned in incubators. It will be remembered that you are in charge when mothers in maternity had to run for the fear of lives. Madam Susan Kihika, when history is written, the people of Nakuru will remember you are in charge when lives were lost because of lack of medical attention. Now, the Law Society of Kenya demands of you, 1, an immediate restoration of the War Memorial Hospital management in compliance with the court orders until the court orders otherwise. Two, an immediate and unconditional apology to the families of all the victims and the patients who suffered the nights of terror in the hands of county askaris. Number three, and this is extremely important, we want a public affirmation that you will always respect the rule of law. Now, the Law Society of Kenya, the people of Nakuru, the civil societies, and other bodies of similar concerns are hereby called upon not to keep quiet when such ills are happening in Kenya. As a society, we shall be instituting legal proceedings against the county government of Nakuru should our demands go unheeded. We shall make noise until we are heard. May God bless